We were at the expressway, so per day there is a lot of cars who come in and go out. So we had around maybe 6,000 cars a day, and we had to take the temperature. I think the first most important part is taking the temperature. Second is checking the ID card of the person, if that person is from Hubei or from Wuhan. And second is also asking the person about how he's feeling, or has he been in contact with any person recently who has fever, cough, or have been not feeling so well. This volunteer period was so hectic. We didn't really get time to think like, what is it that I'm doing, or what is it that I am contributing. But during the time that we were volunteering, the time that we were going to work, we were going to volunteer, I used to tell my husband, oh my God, the whole of Wenzhou is empty. Like, we are so used to see crowded street and so many people walking around. And at that time, it was so scary. There was no one on the street. And then after the epidemic passed and Wenzhou started opening up again, when I see the people walking on the street, when I see the kids playing, when I see the old people gathering and people smiling on the street, I felt like they don't know, but I had a small part to play in that. I think every family, because I'm still far, So I think my parents wanted me to come back home. When there is a problem, you want to face it as a family. And my parents told me, why don't you come back, Come back, you will be safer here and we will be together. I cannot completely say thank you. I cannot completely give back everything that I have received here, because in the span of 10 years, I have gained so much here. I have learned so much, and I cannot fully give it back. But I think this epidemic gave me a little chance of saying thank you to my friends, to my teachers, to my colleagues, my neighbors, everybody who have taken care of me. Because of the time difference, sometimes when I answer the question, Mauritius is 8 o'clock and China is already 12 o'clock. So by the time I finish answering the questions one by one, or the people will send me questions in my inbox, by the time I finish answering the questions, it's already 3 a.m. Because Mauritius is only 11. So by the time I finish answering, and on different time zone, because people who will ask me question and they are in UK and they're in Canada, they are Mauritians, but living in different countries. And Canada and China is, oh my God, the time zone is crazy. And by the time I finish with that conversation, I don't realize it's already light outside. And I have to get ready to start doing my things and getting ready for my daily things. Me and my husband, we barely slept. We barely slept during, I think, the first 3 months, but I think now it's better. Now that the world is understanding and there's so many people coming forward to explain. Doctors, health ministers, nurses, so many people are coming forward to explain. So I think now different time zones have their own heroes. So now I can sleep. So my story with China began a long time ago because my parents do business in China. So when I was very young and growing up, I've seen my parents working with China like very closely. And when it was time for me to go to university, so my mom told me that, you can go to any country to be a doctor, but I've worked closely with Chinese people, and I feel that China can teach you more than medicine. China can teach you how to work really hard and how to be the best of what you are going to undertake, not just medicine, but in a lot of things in life. And she thought that China can make me a better person, give me better opportunities, and make me a complete person. I think that's what she had for me, the vision she had for me. And I think that's what is happening now. And I think she was really right.